Hello ladies and gents, Ro here, and welcome to No Films. Today we're going to be continuing my Apple Weekly News, and let's go ahead and dive straight into the first article of the week, and which covers the growth of Apple. Honestly, you guys, Apple has grown so much over the last few years, or I've started this, I want to say about 3 years ago, and just I have personally seen so much growth within Apple. As you can see here, it's already worth over $776 billion as a company, and they beat their own record, which was a high of $774.7 billion on February 2015. So in the past 2 years, the company alone has grown $2 billion, and that's a huge growth number. To me, honestly, if I had just $2 billion in my pocket, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. But let's go ahead, and I do want to cover 3 of the major growth points for Apple, and the reasons why they're growing as a company as well. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. Mac sales were up 14% year on year to 4.2 million units versus 4.03 million units, which were sold during the last year period. Next, we have the service revenues were up 18% year on year to 7 billion versus the 5.99 billion in the same quarter last year. That's a major increase as well there. And when they say service revenues, that's most likely the Apple Care program they offer with each product they sell, along with add-ons such as the Beats headphones, and you got the various Apple accessories. Finally, over the products revenues, which include the Apple Watch, iPods, AirPods, Beats, they were up to a whopping of 31% year on year to 2.87 billion versus 2.19 billion same quarter last year. This is just ridiculous numbers, you guys. If you're interested in this, and if you do have Apple stocks, I thought you might find this interesting, because Apple is growing. It's not like they're going downhill. They're advancing and they're moving on. And I wouldn't say the company is exponentially growing, but they are definitely on a steady pace uphill. Now, if you would like to read more about this and find out more details regarding yourself, I'll have a link in the description for this Forbes article. Be sure to check that out as well. Let's go ahead and move on to an iDrop news article, which talks about the iPhone 8 function area. If you take a look at this image, you notice that the actual where you normally have your fingerprint scanner along with your Touch ID, your overall screen, which has the edge-to-edge design, and they're calling this down here the function area, which is it's supposedly the new term that Apple will probably be using in the upcoming Worldwide Developers Conference. But if you notice, there appears to be an embedded Touch ID here as well, and the phone answering, calling, and messaging, and an alarm just appears right in the function area, as they call it. Last but not least, I do want to point out that Min Chin Koo of KGI Securities originally made the prediction back in February, adding that the final device should be around the same size as the 4.7-inch iPhone 7, but with a much larger display. And this is why, because if you look at this, it's basically edge to edge, and it's going to be the same 5.7-inch iPhone, or no, the iPhone 8 is rumored 5.8-inch iPhone display, set aside from the virtual home button and possibly display embedded fingerprint sensor, and that's what we're seeing here as well. Now, staying on the iPhone 8 topic, I'm going to move on to iOS 11, which we were most likely going to see as well introduced in iPhone 8, and they talk about in this article, which I'll have a link in the description as well, they're talking about the intelligent low battery mode and improved FaceTimes, which honestly, those are they're on the low end for things that need to be improved or could be improved on iPhone 8 or within iOS 11, or introduced in iOS 11. Additional iOS features that they include here are a rumored person-to-person iPhone-based payment system, and they already actually have apps for that, and I could see them integrating something much simpler, probably through Apple Pay. There's also additional rumored features such as dark mode, which I actually had previously covered in some of my other videos, and we were supposed to see it in iOS 10, but it might have been pushed to iOS 11 and will probably get introduced into dark mode on iOS 11, which will be interesting to see. Next, I do have an article here talking about the Amazon Echo competitor. If you guys don't know what the Amazon Echo is, they also have now the Amazon Echo Look. Amazon Echo is basically a listening device that can perform various tasks such as like answer basic questions and set timers, set reminders, and even play music through its the device. And this is what it kind of looks like. So an Apple competitor would be pretty interesting to see what Apple actually could come up with or what they could release. There was a statement by, I believe, an executive. Apple's currently finalizing designs for their Alexa competitor. They're saying expected to be marketing as a Siri AirPlay device, and it's also rumored to have built-in touch display. But I don't know why you would need a display if it's supposed to be a device that, you know, it's supposed to be like hands-off. It responds and it listens to you. But if I have to go in and touch it and mess with the display, then might as well just give me an iPhone at that point. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Apple comes up with. And my question to you guys is, would you purchase a Siri assistant? I would imagine it would actually have like Beats speakers built in, and so it would be definitely high quality product. And a possibly rumored multi-touch display. Would you purchase such a product? Moving on, let's go ahead and cover the last article I have here, which is also by iDrop News, and I'll have a link in the description. But it's covering about the new iPad Pro 2 and the iPad Mini 5, which we may see announced at the next Worldwide Developers Conference. We really haven't seen much on the iPad side of things from Apple, but the article actually goes on to say here that the Apple has for long been rumored to be introducing as many as 3 other iPad models for this year. However, including a refreshed 12.9-inch iPad Pro, 2 is slightly smaller, bezel-free iPad Pro boasting an edge-to-edge display measuring 10.5 inches, and possibly even an iPad Mini 5. I would say that this is some good news from an article-based source. The iPads honestly have not gotten an upgrade or an update in a while, so it'll be interesting to see what Apple has in store for us this year. Last but not least, I do have an app here. It's called Voice Swap, a live voice changer and face filters. It's free in the iTunes Store or the App Store, and you can see some images here, but it looks kind of like Snapchat, but a little bit with a twist. So be sure to check that out. I'll have a link in the description for you guys.